Since the markets have been holding their breath and growing more defensive, I feel that we have been incurring losses for the previous 5 days. This is because the markets have been holding their breath. As a consequence of this, I am of the opinion that there is a feeling of ease and that some cash is being put to work, which is advantageous for equities, investments, and risk assets. In their current rising trend, how far are these stocks capable of going? I believe that there is a great deal of possibility for growth within the market, particularly when taking into consideration the fact that if you get an ISM back above 50, it really does call for a broadening of markets because of the situation. In addition, I am of the opinion that one of the leaders is most likely a person who works in the banking industry. Consequently, I am of the opinion that it is not out of the question to achieve a total of 6,800 or 7,000 before the end of the year. Even now, technology is in charge. Certainly, I have the impression that you are still enthusiastic about playing. For those who are interested in achieving success in the market, it is recommended that they choose to invest in artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency trading. Consequently, we have arrived at the Mag 7, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. There is a considerable amount of potential for all of the main cryptocurrencies, including XRP, to have a favorable conclusion. Tom Lee has recently provided signals that the Federal Reserve is getting ready to make a pivot, and there is already a significant amount of possibility for this to occur. What this demonstrates is that a significant amount of liquidity is getting ready to come back into the markets in a massive way, with trillions of dollars flooding in. This is because if the Federal Reserve is pivoting, as pretty much everyone on Wall Street, as believing, as JP Morgan and Chase Goldman Sachs are all believing, then what this demonstrates is that a lot of liquidity is getting ready to come back into the markets. The video that we are going to see today is going to be about this topic, and we are going to discuss about it. In addition, to tell you the truth, it does not take place at the same moment that you guys are anticipating that everything would take place. In the video that we are going to have today, we are going to learn about this subject, talk about it, and then provide it to you in a way that is going to be pretty helpful. Now, before we get into that, I would want to bring to your attention the fact that I have recently introduced my best-in-class trading indicator, which quite literally informs you guys about every single best buy and every single best sell according to the single on the market. It is important that I bring this up before we proceed with that. In the event that you are following my content and implementing the strategies that I have been putting into practice on the market, this signal has a victory rate of 100% for each and every one of them. After conducting backtests on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP over the course of the past year, I can confidently say that it has a 100% chance of winning no matter what. Taking this into consideration, I would like to make certain that each and every one of you has the ability to sign up and make use of this finest-in-class indicator beginning right now. There are 3 various options that are available for selection: the monthly, the quarterly, and the annual offerings, and they are all available to pick from. You will discover the link that will enable you to sign up and receive access to this indicator right now while taking advantage of this limited time discount. The link can be found below. It is therefore recommended that you click on that. It would be beneficial for us to view the video in order to learn what Tom Lee has to say about this subject. They are concerned about T. The odds are now in favor of the employment market becoming more relaxed, which is a positive development. This is a really optimistic indicator, and I believe it indicates that we have a Fed that is once again tilting towards the dovish side. This is a form of hint that really small caps ought to be taken into consideration. One thing that I mean when I say small caps is that they are operational. There was a 3% increase in the price of little caps when I checked them the last time. In light of this, is this the kind of affirmation that we need in order to develop the kind of expansion that takes place in the market effectively? Although mortgage spreads are currently 360 basis points higher than the 10-year, I feel that one of the things that we want to keep an eye on is what happens to mortgage rates. This is because I believe that this is one of the things that we think is important. Because it has historically been 1.6 percentage points, there is a probability that mortgage rates will drop dramatically. This is because of the previous trend. That is going to be great for the housing market. It is going to be beneficial for the small caps in the financial sector. And I believe that the ISM, which has been below 50 for more than 30 months now, might finally get back over 50, which is a positive sign for industrials. Even if we had a discussion about a minor steepening in the curve shortly after the speech that was given, is there a sensation that the vigilantes are at least present? Is this the case despite the fact that these conversations took place, despite the fact that they may not completely be vocal about it? Oh, however, we also have the capacity to raise our steepness because growth prospects are also getting better. This is something that is real. In order to better understand this, I would want to relate IT to what I call a bull steepening. In spite of the fact that I do not have complete certainty regarding the parameters of the fixed income, I am of the opinion that it is truly a sign that growth is going to end up being beneficial. On the other hand, the only crops that are going to see losses today are going to be those that are staples and those that provide a certain amount of yield. Are you going to proceed with prudence with regard to those? That is exactly how it is. I have a strong belief that the markets have been holding their breath and becoming defensive, which is the reason why we have been experiencing losses for the previous 5 days. I am of the opinion that there is currently a lull in the situation and that some of the available cash is being put to use, which is advantageous for equities markets and risk assets. In their current rising trend, how far are these stocks capable of going? When you get an ISM back above 50, it really does call for a broadening of markets. And I believe that one of the leaders probably comes from the financial sector, so I believe that by the end of the year, somewhere between 6,800 and 7,000 is attainable. That being said, I am of the opinion that there is a great deal of room for development, particularly because of this. Under the direction of TechCell, indeed, I am of the opinion that you are still interested in playing iffy this week. That makes sense, doesn't it? You should absolutely be long artificial intelligence and the cryptocurrency trade because those have been the market leaders such as the Mag7, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. You should look into investing in these two areas. In spite of this, the prospects that are actually more extensive can be found in the financials, industrials, and small caps. Are there any of them that you do not like? Cyclicals, artificial intelligence, and cryptography are all included in this category. However, the defensives are not included. As a result of the fact that the Genius Act is going to take place this year, I believe that it is although we are aware that artificial intelligence has a lot of legs and that it has been going on for a couple of years, I believe that they are now calling it a frothy trade. However, we are aware that it has been called that, keeping in mind that Ethereum is also the location where agentic artificial intelligence takes place is an essential point to bear in mind. In situations where you have robots and you want to demonstrate that they are human, you should make certain that the directives that they issue originate from a source that has been verified. In the context of a smart contract, this is something that takes place. There will be a significant amount of Ethereum involved. It is clear that Tom Lee is drawing a relationship between the development of artificial intelligence and the growth of cryptocurrencies. This is something that was brought to your attention. Additionally, it goes without saying that stable currencies are going to play a key role in this as well. Their significance cannot be overstated. He is perennially bullish on the cryptocurrency market and artificial intelligence, arguing that they are going to be the ones to lead the charge during this bull run. In short, he is always excited about the future of these two industries. Therefore, I think that it is extremely necessary for everyone to pay great attention to XRP since I feel that they are primarily focused on the stablecoin space. This is the reason why I believe that it is especially vital. The genuine financial issues that exist all across the world are being resolved by them, are in the process of introducing exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Additionally, we have already seen what took place in November when we had rate cuts and, an election super cycle running simultaneously with one another. This is something that we have previously observed once. At a time, we have witnessed something similar to this. That is to say, it is superior in a substantial aspect. From November to January, Bitcoin and Ethereum, along with practically every other cryptocurrency option, were among the most popular cryptocurrencies during that time period. This trend continued until January. As a consequence of this, I am of the opinion that, in general, there is a tremendous deal of potential for growth, and there is very little possibility